Sports and Event Director. Lasse Ottesen, our Race Director for Nordic Combined.
Good morning.
And Annika Markinski, one of our Nordic Combined athletes from the United States. The procedure for today will be the following. Each of our guests will give one statement in the beginning. Afterwards, we will open the floor for your questions. Please raise your hand and wait until you're called. After that, please introduce yourselves quickly and then ask your questions. Any questions for the rundown at this moment?
Thank you very much, Sophie. Good morning, everyone. From my side, as Sophie mentioned, I'm the Sport and Event Director in FIS since a bit more than 1 year. And I'm pleased to talk today to you and explain you the process for the Nordic Combined added in the Olympic program, the Women Nordic Combined. Actually, it's a very complicated process, and it started already last year, where FIS with skiing was approved to be part of the sports program for the Olympic Winter Games 2030. 7 sports were approved, and we are now in the second round, basically. We have to prove and apply this year for the disciplines, meaning it is for all disciplines: alpine, snowboard, freestyle, cross-country, Nordic Combined, and ski jumping, and if we may, also others. So we have to do an extensive research on all data which we have for all the disciplines, and also given following the eligibility criteria which they have given to us, to focus on 6 points. This was on the cost complexity, the sustainability, the integrity, the gender equality, and the appealing to the youth, as well as the global appearance of our sports. So we will do all of that for all of our disciplines, not only for Nordic Combined, and not only specifically for Nordic Combined women. We will apply for Nordic Combined. In the following year, so in 2026, we have then the next steps to apply for the events. Then we go in further details on the event side. So this year for us is a crucial year, of course. We have to give all our data till the end of March to the IOC, while we also have then starting a dialogue process until the summer, and the IOC Executive Board will decide on the disciplines based on the Olympic Program Commission recommendation in the second half of this year. So I think it is very complex, this process, but it is also a good process. And the Olympic Program Commission is doing a real comprehensive and objective analysis of all the data which we are delivering in all our disciplines. So I feel very confident that we can deliver and that we have here a fair process to apply for all of our disciplines.
Thank you very much, Sandra. I would kindly ask Lasse, excuse me, what steps have been taken since the IOC decision in 2022, especially sports-wise, to bring Women's Nordic Combined into the Olympics in 2030?
Yes. Thank you, Sophie. Thank you, Sandra. My name is Lasse Ottesen. I'm the race director for Nordic Combined. Has been since 2011. I think when we go back a bit, and my statement might be a bit longer, Sophie, than you want, but let me know when I have to stop. It's been I think a very, very good process. It's been challenging so far. We are not there yet, but since the decision came in 2022, where the IOC said that the Nordic Combined women will not be included in the 2026 program, as Sandra said, we got some requirements and some points, to be simple, that we needed to look into. Some of them already Sandra mentioned. They are also on a bigger scale. Some of them are quite clear sports-wise. meaning they need to see Nordic Combined included in the World Championships program over more than 1 year. They need to see more nations, more athletes on start. They need to see more nations fighting for the medals. And so those are, let's say, easy points that is measurable. You know, based on those points, I think we have been over the last 3 years in a very good cooperation with all our national ski federations, which of course for us is extremely important. They are the ones that are supporting and building up Nordic Combined Women and Nordic Combined overall. We have several projects started all the way back into 2022, one of them being Nations Supporting Nations, which were a program where we wanted the bigger, stronger nations to share their knowledge and know-how with the smaller nations. We have seen, I think, a program of such developing year by year. I think we can here have many examples all the way from the cooperation between Norway and Estonia, Finland, China, Germany, Switzerland, which have brought very, very positive signals to our sport and hopefully spread knowledge to the nations that were, let's say, mid-range knowledge-wise. So that was one of the programs that we started. We were very happy that the council back in 22 decided to support a Nordic Combined Development Fund, giving us 750,000 Swiss francs, to be very detailed, over the time period of 3 years through the 2026 Olympics. This is a fund where all national federations can apply for support based on very clear requirements that is set in the application process for developing projects of Nordic Combined nature, being everything from small training camps, being training camps for Nordic Combined women, but all in all Nordic Combined development programs that we are able to support financially, and this is of course good. Last year, as an example, we gave support to 19 nations that has applied for support to FIS, and I think this is definitely a very positive step, showing that FIS is supporting Nordic Combined all the way up to the council level, and trying to develop the sport of Nordic Combined, and of course especially the Nordic Combined women. On the sports sides, we have seen, I think, the last 3-4 years, a incredible development of Nordic Combined women. We are now at the level where several of our Nordic Combined athletes will take part in ski jumping World Championship events. Shows the level of the athletes from point one. I think we've had 2 amazing events here in Trondheim, showing the level of the Nordic Combined women's. We see a raise in number of athletes from number of nations. So in this World Championships, we have more nations and more athletes taking part in Nordic Combined women than ever. Most importantly, we have seen over the last 2 years a fantastic development in Junior Worlds. Last season, we had 6 nations taking medals in Junior Worlds, which is a record. We had an additional 2 more nations taking medals in Youth Olympic Games for Nordic Combined, which is for us extremely important. We have here also equal programs, meaning equal number of events for Nordic Combined women and men in both Youth Olympics and Junior Worlds. So these are sports-specific developments, I think, that we have taken over the years. This year, sustainability changed for Combined, changed for sustainability, a program that we are running together with our partner FIS, which I think is a very positive step, the only discipline in FIS that has such a program running. We have each and every organizer with us on board for a Combined for Change in terms of sustainability, with all different programs in each different venue. And I think at the end even a prize for the best showcased sustainability organizer through the season. And these are, as Sandra mentioned, also very important, not only for the IOC, but also for FIS. So I think we're on a very good development line. We are on a good path. We have here also, of course, in close relationship with the IOC and the cooperation here with all these developments, we are reporting to the IOC Sports Department on our developments, directly to the Sports Director, Keith McConnell. And I think in this case, we have made some good steps so far, also backed up by our national ski federations. So I think that's important for us to say as well, that we have the support. We feel that the level is raising. We see more and more kids in Nordic Combined. We had this summer a youth camp, a youth cup, where we had 128 kids taking part internationally from 14 nations. We have nations like Thailand on the start list of Nordic Combined that we have never had before. So it gets exotic. I think these are important, at least from our point of view, sports-wise, to see the development and to see what we are doing. And of course, also here we are extremely happy to have, I think the women's in Nordic Combined have brought a different atmosphere to our sport. They have brought social media, Annika, to our sport in a different way than with only the boys. And I think this is enriching our discipline and hopefully bringing more fans to follow us. So I think we're on a good path. I believe that we are working well together with all the different aspects of this, let's say, complicated case. But I am at least extremely positive, and I am very, very sure that the IOC will make the only decision they can in the next couple of years, and that is of course to include Nordic Combined and Nordic Combined Women to the program of the Olympics for the future, not only for 2030, but also for the years to come. So that was my short statement, Sophie.
Well done. Thank you very much, Lasse. Before we come to your questions, now I would like to ask Annika. We have heard what FIS is doing together with the IOC to get you into the Olympics in 2030, but I can imagine that there is still some disappointment that you're not able to compete next season already. Just give us an overview of the athlete's perspective in this discussion.
Yeah, my name is Annika Malasinski. I am on the U.S. Women's Nordic Combined national team, and yes, I am the forefront of being in the sport and then not having that equality, and especially having my brother Nicholas Malasinski also be a Nordic Combined athlete and have that opportunity to qualify and compete in the Olympics next year is definitely a very hard blow to take. But I started this sport right when the rise of women's Nordic Combined was, we had, Junior Worlds and Youth Olympics and then World Championships. So I have seen the progress of women's Nordic Combined, and honestly, all I can say is it's absolutely incredible. These women are some of the most hardworking women that I've ever seen in my life, and I think that because we all have this goal and we want to be a part of the Olympic Games, I think we fight really, really hard for that. And something that I have noticed personally is how social media comes into play, especially some of the videos that I make about the inequality of my sport. That usually tends to blow up on social media, and that's something that I've really noticed. So I know that there are people out there that want to fight for this case and fight for us and fight for women, because at the end of the day, it is not fair that our discipline is the only discipline that, or the only sport in the Olympics that doesn't have men alongside women competing. So I think it's extremely important to fight for, and like Lasse said, this women's Nordic Combined it's a sport that is incredibly hardworking and we're all determined to fight for what's right. And just the girls in general, I mean, you don't see the sportsmanship from any other sport, in my opinion. I think that we're all extremely encouraging towards each other, and we want to compete in the Olympics, period. And that's something that we're going to keep fighting for. And I know next year is going to be extremely, really, really, really hard to watch the Olympics, knowing that we work just as hard as any other athlete out there in any other discipline, and not having even the opportunity to be able to compete. But I am pretty positive and really hope that each and every one of you spread the word, and eventually we get our sport to compete in 2030. That would be super awesome, and I know that the women are going to do everything in our power to be able to get there.
Thank you, Annika. So now we are ready for your questions.
Well, first of all, if we look at the Olympics in 2030, we will aim for equal number of quotas and equal number of events for men and women. So that's point number one. At this time, I cannot be more specific in terms of what kind of events or competitions that we will apply for, but it will be equal for both genders in the Olympics in 30 and 34. And yes, we have introduced the compact event, which I think has been positive and a success. We already brought it into the World Championships on the program today, later today. So I think that was a success with a new, a little bit more exciting event. We have at the moment a sprint, a Nordic Combined sprint event that we have tested out in the Continental Cup that we most likely will introduce as well in the World Cup circuit to hopefully draw attention to have some more, let's say, excitement around an event. We know how exciting the cross-country sprints are. So we have tested this and will keep on testing it for the future to also probably have that coming in. We saw yesterday, I think, an exciting mixed team, but we do also have a mixed team sprint, which allows maybe even more nations to be on start with only one woman, one man on the team. And this might be even more, let's say, a format that we maybe should look into for the future. Specifically, of course, to ensure that as many nations as possible are able to take part in the team event. So I think we're here, we do have a battery of formats and also some new ones coming up the pipeline that I think will be interesting for the future. Well, I think at the moment we see that on the women's side we don't have enough nations with 4 athletes that are able to compete in a team. If we look into the future, we have not made any decisions on this, but if you look at the Olympic program, the team event with 4 persons team is gone. It's a team sprint that is on the program in 2026 for the men's. I think this will be the future for World Championships as well. I think this is a step that is needed to be taken. We do need to discuss it in the spring, but we also see for ski jumping that the super team is moving in that direction. The team with 4 is also gone for the Olympics for ski jumping. So I think the development here is not in the way of, let's say, more and more team events 4, but more maybe mixed or team sprints that we see as a right way to go. So that's one of the reasons. The other one is basically that at the moment we don't have enough nations with 4 athletes that are on a level yet to compete in a team event. So that is basically the 2 easy reasons for it.
2030.
No, they will not reject Nordic Combined.
I think as well, what I have to mention here is also France as the host country has some possibilities to bring in new sports. So compared to our process, they can also apply for additional sports, but this will be then decided not in the executive, but it will be decided by the IOC session. It's not one big argument. I think there are a couple of arguments together. I do believe that Nordic Combined is an attractive sport with bringing two different skills, two different sports together. It is exciting. It is also a safe and a fair sport. The community is an extremely fair community to each other. We have done a lot on the integrity side, and also our Nordic Combined family is extremely aware on the sustainability aspect. They are also showcasing it this year, what we can all do for the sustainable events, not only on the environmental sustainability, but also on all other aspects of sustainability. I believe they are really a front runner in this matter, and therefore I think it is also time for them to be included and the entire Nordic Combined family.
Thank you. And we know how important it is. So we have seen a growth rate of 44% year over year on our Nordic Combined social media channels. I think we are at 67,000 followers right now across all channels, and we have a reach this season from 10 million. A lot of that coming from TikTok. So when you hear those numbers, Annika, you said it before, it's very important. But do you think going into the decision-making processes now and for 2030, do you feel more confident now than compared to 22?
It's a little bit hard because, at least for me, it's important for me to push this message of inequality in my sport on social media. But for a lot of athletes, that's not their main priority. So sometimes I do feel a little bit like alone trying to push this message, but honestly, it makes me really happy that maybe I can make some kind of difference in the decision for 2030, and hopefully try to inspire other athletes to do so as well. And then I have seen a lot of those younger girls that look up to me, that want my bibs and my autographs, and every single time it's kind of like crazy that I actually have some kind of influence over a community, but at the same time it's such an amazing feeling, and I really, my biggest goal in Nordic Combined is to try to inspire others and fight for equal rights. So